Day 96, revision of the practice of the Bhagavad Gita. Today's shlok is number 14 and the adhyaya is number 7, chapter 7, verse 14. Let's see what Bhagwan is telling telling Arjuna. Daivihesha guna mai mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayametantarantite. For this most wonderful maya, veil of mine, consisting of the 3 gunas, which are the modes of nature, is extremely difficult to break through. Those, however, who constantly adore me alone are able to cross it. As you know, the final goal of all spiritual seekers is union with Bhagwan. But Bhagwan, how to have union with Bhagwan? Bhagwan is not perceivable by any of the 5 sense organs, by any faculty, cannot imagine what is Bhagwan. We cannot describe Bhagwan except by the pictures that we see in books. Sagun Brahma. Just like the moon, the moon is in the sky all night. But from time to time, some dense cloud will come in front of the moon and the moon will disappear. It will look like the moon is no longer there in the sky. In the same way, Bhagwan is always there. Just here, right here, Bhagwan is right here. But because of this thick cloud, this thick veil called Maya, we cannot perceive what Bhagwan is. Maya is that energy of Bhagwan which is made up of 3 gunas, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. And that is why one by one, we want to eliminate these from our life. First, we want to eliminate Tamas, then Rajas, be established in Sattva, and slowly, 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 at the end, when we have our Aparoksh Anubhuti, we will be beyond Sattva also. So this Bhagwan himself is saying this is extremely difficult to break through. So how are we going to do it? We will have to prepare really diligently, strictly, so that we can break through this veil of Maya, this thick cloud of Maya, and actually experience Bhagwan. Though our 5 sense organs cannot perceive Bhagwan, we can experience Bhagwan in our heart. So, what is the secret? Bhagwan has given it in the 2nd line. We have to only read it and follow it. What is the secret? Those who constantly adore me alone are able to cross it. Cross what? The veil of Maya. The key word there is prapadyante. In this book, they have translated it as adore. But I don't agree with that translation. Prapadyante actually means to fall at the feet of. Falling at the feet of, or taking refuge in Bhagwan. See, when you say you have to adore Bhagwan, then the mind puts a big block. How to adore Bhagwan? What do I have to do to adore? Do I have to do something to adore something that I cannot see, something that I cannot describe? It's impossible. I cannot adore. But falling at the feet of, surrendering, taking refuge in a higher power means I don't have to do anything. I simply have to allow Bhagwan to drive my chariot. That's all. So let's take prapadyante to mean to take refuge, to fall at the feet of, to allow Bhagwan to guide us to him. Now, why should we take refuge in Bhagwan? Isn't there any other way? Why take refuge? Why do I have to allow Bhagwan to direct me? Because Bhagwan is the master of Maya. Bhagwan is the boss, let's say, of Maya. If I want to go through Maya, if Bhagwan gives the order, Maya has to make way for me. So it reminds me of Sudama, who goes to the palace of Bhagwan Krishna because he is Bhagwan Krishna's oldest, best school friend. But because he's dressed in all torn, tattered clothes, the guards of Bhagwan's palace do not allow Sudama to enter. They just cross the path. They said, no, you cannot come. And then there's a big discussion. Bhagwan Krishna inside the palace hears the commotion and comes and asks what is going on. So they find out somebody called Sudama is at the gate and is trying to get into your palace. You know, Bhagwan, what he does? He gets up from his throne and he runs, doesn't walk. He runs to the gate and he asks the guards to open up the gates and allow Sudama to come in. This is symbolic. This is symbolic because if we make Bhagwan our best friend, if we take refuge in Bhagwan, if we surrender to Bhagwan, then Bhagwan will come running to Maya and we will direct Maya, open up the gates and let this Atma in to my palace. So, 4 action points to cut through this red tape of Maya and take refuge in Bhagwan. First, you have to just remember something. You have to remember that this body has been loaned to us so that we can use it as a vehicle, a sadhan, to reach Bhagwan. See, we say that we cannot see with our eyes, we cannot see Bhagwan with our nose, with our ears, with all our sense organs. We cannot see Bhagwan. But Bhagwan has given you a vehicle with all these things and said, now you use this vehicle to come to me. So we need to use this body for the purpose for which it has been given to us, not for experiencing sense gratifications. So the first sadhana is let the body take you towards Bhagwan, and then with this body serve Bhagwan. You have hands to serve, you have legs to serve, you have a body to serve. So serve Bhagwan with this body. 2, mind. We have body. Now let's go to mind. Now this mind, if you know, has been traveling with you meaning Atma, for lifetimes. It continuously moves with the Atma from one lifetime to the next lifetime. And like some, traveler, some traveler who loves traveling from place to place, when the traveler moves from place to place, all his life he loves to travel, he carries his suitcase, that suitcase gets battered, that suitcase gets dirty, the suitcase gets dented, the suitcase gets impure. Like that, this mind going with the Atma from one lifetime to another lifetime to another lifetime has become dirty. It has become impure. It has become dented, contorted, confused. So we have to let Bhagwan take us in his Sharan. We have to purify this Antakaran, this mind. And when we will purify this mind, sitting at the feet of Bhagwan, we will get darshan. of Bhagwan. So use the mind for the correct purpose. Correct purpose is Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, Bhakti, Kirtan, Puja, Aarti, all these things. Use the mind for that. And then see the darshan you will get of Bhagwan in your mind. So we thought of the body, we thought of the mind. Now let's see how the intellect can help us. You know, the intellect is the most precious gift that we have received. And the fact that Bhagwan has gifted us a buddhi means, you know, animals don't have buddhi. The fact that we have been endowed with a buddhi means perhaps Bhagwan thinks that there is a chance, there is a potential that we will use this buddhi correctly. And when we use this buddhi correctly, we will be able to distinguish between Sat, which is the truth, and Asat, which is false. And if we use that buddhi correctly, we will be able to reach Bhagwan. So stop using the intellect wrongly. What is the wrong use of the intellect? You know it? Judging others. Instead of that, use the intellect for distinguishing between Sat and Asat. Focus on the Sat and drop the Asat. And when you will do that, taking refuge in Bhagwan, you will reach him. You will cross this Maya and reach him. Last and not the least, only humans have been gifted the ability to speak in an intelligent way, to use the brain to speak. Animals don't speak. No other creature, living being speaks. They communicate instinctively by sounds, by wagging their tails, by licking, by growling. But only humans can speak coherently. So, why have we been given this ability to speak? Have you ever thought about it? So you have an intellect that distinguishes between Sat and Asat. Now, a person who is successful in being able to see the Sat, that means the person who is self-realized, able to see the Sat, drop the Asat. What will he do with that knowledge? He will need to pass it to others. And because he needs to pass it to others, he needs to have the ability to speak. And that is the correct use of speech, not to gossip, not to ridicule, not to hurt by wrong speech, not to pass comments, not to just whatever. It's a most precious gift. It is there for us to share knowledge as it has been coming down in Guru Shishya Parampara. So let your speech reflect the teachings of Bhagwan. Bhagwan gives so many teachings in Bhagavad Gita. Are we using our ability to speak in sync with the teachings of Bhagwan? So you see, this vehicle itself, this sadhan that cannot see Bhagwan, that cannot pass through the veil of Maya, body, mind, intellect, speech, if you use them correctly, if you train them correctly, they will take you through and through the red tape of Maya directly to the feet of Bhagwan. Darshan of Bhagwan, aparoksh anubhuti of Bhagwan. So start using all this equipment correctly. More on Monday.